Good morning, my students, government student of SS1 C. Mr. Diba is on the line to educate you on delegated legislation as the first topic for 2019-2020. I want you to cast your mind back to our last topic we discussed before we proceeded on indefinite lockdown break or holiday, which was centralization and decentralization. So I believe that as you stay at home, you go through your notes and still remind yourselves of what to do. You cannot just stay at home and be playing all through. So our first topic for the term, where by the time we resume, is going to be what? Delegated legislations. And delegated legislation arise as a result of too much of workload for the National Assembly to legislate for all the 3 tiers of government. The work is enormous for them, therefore they have to give out some powers to the other subordinate units to legislate on their behalf. By so doing, at the end of the day, they will be supervised and controlled. So I want us to understand the definition of delegated legislations. As you can see on the board, delegated legislation is a body of rules enacted by a person, group of person, institution, organization, or corporations other than the legislature. For example, those laws and rules enacted by local government, such as NEPA, as we used to call it before, or PHCN, as the case may be, and all the private companies in charge of supplying powers, and all licensing authorities are referred to as delegated legislations. These are the laws made other than the National Assembly as we know today, because left everything for them to legislate on all the aspects of life, they will not be able to cope. For that reasons, we shall look into the reasons for delegated legislation. Number one of the reasons for delegated legislation, it is a time-saving device. Because I've told you, because of the enormous nature of their job as lawmaking body, they won't be able to legislate effectively for the whole country. And if they any attempt to do that, they are going to waste a lot of time. Therefore, by delegating some powers to the other subordinate unit, it saves a lot of time. That is the meaning of time-saving device. They did that purposely to ease their work, to ease themselves. That is why there's a need for this delegated legislation. Then another point I want us to look at is this: it allows for expertise in the formulation of appropriate laws. There are technical laws, or there are technical areas that the National Assembly, they will not be capable to legislate upon or to legislate on. Therefore, they have to seek the knowledge of expertise in order to legislate laws on their behalf, though it is subject to the approval or to the supervision of the National Assembly. If that is done, there will be room for expertise and appropriate laws will be legislated for the whole country. Then number 3, it allows for adjustment necessary to meet changing circumstances. In case of emergency cases like flood or natural disasters or COVID-19, as the case, the battle the whole world is confronting today. If there's any law to be made, it will take time for the National Assembly at the 3 tiers of government, either at the state level or the local government level, to wait for them to legislate for them before action can be taken. Therefore, the 3 tiers of government are being empowered at the local government authority, at the state government, to legislate powers on behalf of the National Assembly, either at the federal level or at the state level. Now, I want us to look at these reasons for delegated legislation. This is the key points that you ought to know, to bear in mind. The reasons for delegated legislations. As earlier explained, it is a time-saving device. It is the work of the legislators, or save them of the enormous time that they're going to legislate on all issues concerning the nations. Therefore, it's time saving and it is very, very important. Then it allows for expertise in the formulation of appropriate laws, as I explained to you before when I was introducing the lesson. Appropriate laws will be legislated on behalf of the National Assembly in order to achieve their aims, and it allows for adjustment necessary to meet changing circumstances. As a human being, you know, the society is very, very dynamic. It is not static. Issues can come up at any point in time, which the Nigerian Constitution may not be able to cover it. Therefore, there is room for other subordinate bodies to legislate on behalf of the National Assembly, subject to the approval or scrutiny of the National Assembly. We have forms of delegated legislations. Number one, which is orders in council. These orders in council, as the case may be, it is very, very peculiar to the British parliamentary system of government. The king or the queen can, in his or her own wisdom or capacity, give orders in the case to proclaim whether there's war or not, either they should go into war against another country or to take a particular actions. So the orders that dish out from the Queen of England, who is the ceremonial head, or the Prime Minister or the British Parliament, is called orders in council. So take note. Then another one is statutory instruments. The statutory instruments are laws or rules and regulations that emanate from the ministries. It could be ministries, Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, as the case may be, Women Affairs. Such laws that emanate from ministries and other agencies are referred to as statutory instruments on behalf of the National Assembly or the legislators. We also have the provincial or provisional orders. In some textbooks, you come across provincial orders or provisional orders, as the case may be, just like when one is given admission into a school, into a higher institution. The form you are giving to fill is referred to as what? Provisional admission. Subject to be what? To be raised at any point in time. It is not authentic, as the case may be. Therefore, provisional or provisional orders are laws made by local government authorities or other agencies which are on a temporary basis. They are not permanent. They are on a temporary basis. It could be withdrawn and it could be sustained. That is the meaning of provincial or provisional orders. And then the other one is this, bylaws. Bylaws are laws specifically made by local government authorities as the 30 years of government. So these are the key areas or key points that I want you to have in mind from time to time. That we have, these are the forms of delegated legislations that we need to know for now. I repeat, orders in council as related to the British Parliament, statutory instrument as regards to ministries and how they are empowered to make laws on behalf of the National Assembly, and the provincial and provisional orders as the temporary rules and regulations made by local government and other agencies. And the last one, bylaws specifically, is for the local government authorities. Then, as we discussed earlier, because of time factor, we will not take much of your time. As you stay at home, I want to engage you in this way by solving these questions for me, answering these questions for me. And at the end of the day, you are going to send it to my school WhatsApp or to my email address. You'll be able to reach Mr. Diba. Number one assignment is delegated legislation. Then number B, state some of the reasons for delegated legislations. Then C, mention the forms of delegated legislation as we discussed above. Thank you very much and God bless you until we meet again in the possible short time. This is my